Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Okay, now, I always look forward to doing this every year. These are my top 10 games of 2013. I don't know why I look forward to doing this every year. I just think it's cool to look back on the year and see all the shit that came out and, point out, oh, this is better than this, oh, this is better than that. And, stir up lots of controversy and get people pissed off all that stuff. I don't care. Anyway. Let's get right into it with what I thought, personally, not you, thought was the best 10 games of 2013. Now, for number 10, starting off the list, we have Super Mario 3D World. Now, I remember seeing this game at E3. That was when it was first revealed. And we all knew 3D Mario was about to be announced, but then we saw it playing out and we were just, I don't know about most people. Actually, I think most people were like this, but I saw it and I was like, really, Nintendo? You're going this way with the new 3D Mario? It was just a total console version of the one on the 3DS. You weren't collecting 120 whatever the fucks, it was just linear sort of levels going from bit to bit, and it just looked really shit, alright? But then somewhere down the line before it came out, they released this trailer and all of a sudden everybody's opinion, completely 180'd and it was actually looking really good. I don't really know what it was. The trailer just wasn't really that good and it got a lot of people hyped, myself included. And I needed something to fucking play on the Wii U. So I picked it up and I really fucking enjoyed it, I really can't justify putting it any higher than number 10 because I do still think it was a really big step down from the Mario Galaxy games, The Mario Galaxy games, and I consider those, honest to God, the peak of 3D platforming, not just one of the best, the peak, right? It's really hard to top that, okay? But in that regard, I guess I gotta give 3D Mario World some props for at least being a really good game and having to follow up with that. I really wish they could have had online multiplayer. I definitely would have played that a lot with a few friends who recently got their Wii U's this year. And yeah, 2013, it wasn't really that good a year for the Wii U. I'm really hoping 2014 kicks things off for that console, here, who's hoping, but whatever. Super Mario 3D World is number 10. Okay, and for number 9, this is a game I definitely liked more than most people. Not to say that most people disliked it, it's just not really a game that gets that much recognition. And I actually do remember talking to a few people that did genuinely dislike it. And that was Luigi's Mansion 2. Now, never played the first one. That's a complete lie, I did play the first one. I just didn't beat it. Despite the fact that it's apparently a really short game, I remember struggling a lot with it. Now, I was really young at the time. This must have been about 10 fucking years ago I played it. And I guess I was still stupid back then. I'm a little stupid now, but I couldn't really figure out how to beat it at the time. I was playing other stuff maybe. I just put it to the side, I just didn't really give it that much attention. But this new one came out and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try this out. And right off the bat, one thing I really want to give props to Luigi's Mansion 2 for is that it's made me fully confident in saying that you can make a survival horror game without making it, an 18 rated game or M rated game or whatever, I mean, it showed me that you can get that survival horror formula, not with like blood and grit and absolute bastard and fear and that, but just by making the environment sort of spooky. Like an old episode of Scooby-Doo, it's just spooky in a sort of funny way, and you can argue that it's not terrifying and therefore that doesn't make it survival horror, but it's at least atmospheric, Not to mention, going through the mansions, despite the mission mode structure, which I think most people did dislike, and so did I, to be fair, but despite that, you're still cutting about the mansions, navigating all the rooms, solving puzzles. It's a really genuine survival horror experience, not to mention the Ghostbuster style gameplay, I love it. I suppose, again, going back to the mission mode, that was kind of the weakest thing about it. It would have been cool if it was just one long adventure going through the several mansions that you did go through. But yeah, it was really good. I played it, I think I beat it in like 2 or 3 sittings today. It was just that much fun to me, solving the puzzles. Just a really, really well-made adventure. There's rumors that that is going to be ported to the Wii U. Fucking do it, I'll buy it, you know. It would be nice to play it with it looking a bit better, I suppose. But in any case, it was a really good game for the 3DS and a really good game this year. So, number 9 is Luigi's Mansion 2. Okay, number 8 is Tales of Xillia. Was probably my most hyped game at one point. In fact, I remember, it must have been like a year and a half ago at this point, fuck, watching like, what was it called again? It was an expo in France where Hideo Baba, the producer of the Tales of games, came out and said, yep, Tales of Xillia is coming. This was before Tales of Grace's F came out, which was another one of my favourite games last year. And yeah, I was so fucking happy. Speaking of which, just a little side note, I should have made a video about this, but Tales of Xillia is coming out for the PS3 worldwide. It got announced in Japan the very same day it got announced in Japan. They announced it for everywhere else. That's amazing. I didn't have to put my localization hat on or anything. He just said, fuck it, yous are getting it. Do that more often, Japanese developers. We like that shit. Yeah, but yeah, I digress. Tales of Xillia came out, lots of new innovations for the Tales of series. Really fucking enjoyed it. I suppose number 8 might be a little bit low considering how much my hype was for it. And admittingly, yeah, there was other Tales of games that I liked more than this. Like, I think Tales of Grace's F is a better game than this, you know? But obviously it was still really good, otherwise it wouldn't be on this list. You know, just keep feeding me Tales of, I'll keep at it, you know? And it's really good because there's so many Tales of games coming out this year. There's Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, which I'm looking forward to. Tales of Xillia 2, which to be fair I'm not looking forward to that much. I don't know, I just don't like the look of that game and what it's presenting. And now Tales of Xillia, so the Tales of series is here to stay, and I'm really happy. I also picked up the special edition, you know, that big box thing with the Emil Maxwell figurine. That was really sweet. But yeah, as for the game itself, probably my third favourite Tales of game, just behind Tales of Grace's F and Tales of the Abyss. Still really good, still really fucking good. I don't really have much to say because it's a Tales of game and I like the Tales of games, so yeah, there we go. Number 8 is Tales of Xillia. Okay, for number 7 we have Sly 4 Thieves in Time. What do I say about this one? Okay, you all probably know this about me, but I have a big attachment for Sony platformers, you know, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter. But in my tender years as a teenager, I skipped out on Sly Cooper. It wasn't until like more or less a few years ago that I really sat down properly and played through the games, you know? And sure enough, I think I prefer it to Jak now, okay? It doesn't top Ratchet, you know, nothing tops Ratchet for me, you know, I'm a Ratchet junkie in that regard. But the Sly series is brilliant. One unpopular opinion that I have is that I think Sly 2 is the worst of the 4, but that's just me. But yeah, Sly 4 came out this year, and it was wonderful. Okay, there's a couple of little things, you know, everybody's pointed out mainly 2 things about the game. That's a plot twist regarding a certain character and the final boss. Those 2 things are shit, but everything else about the game, as far as I'm concerned, is flawless, you know? It's like one of those games that you get that you were dreaming of when you were playing, you know, on the 6th generation. You know, when you're playing on the PS2, you know, I was playing Ratchet and Clank on the PS2 and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my god, a Ratchet and Clank game on the PS3, it's going to look so amazing. And I got that with Ratchet and Clank Tales of Destruction, you know, just like, looked absolutely perfect, you know, it's the game you dreamed of. Just plays exactly the same, it just looks better, you know, and for the most part, that's kind of what we wanted back then, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's exactly what we got with Sly 4. There was no innovations in the gameplay, aside from, you know, playing as Sly Cooper's ancestors, which was awesome, by the way. But yeah, it really could have been something that came out in the PS2, and as far as I'm concerned, that's one of its strongest points, because the PS2 games were amazing, and this one was amazing. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. Yeah, Sly 2, brilliant. Do I want a 5th Sly? I'll play it for sure, but my god, that ending was shit, actually. But who knows what they'll do with it at this point, but I can definitely say, even though it was sort of a return as well, it went out with a bang. It really did. Number 7, definitely Sly 4. Okay, and for number 6, we have The Wonderful 101. Easily the best Wii U game this year, okay? I keep saying that the Wii U had a bad year, but there really was some genuine shining bits of awesomeness scattered throughout the year, just very scarcely sprinkled throughout the year. And this was easily the best one, you know. I'm a massive fan of Platinum games, okay? And this year I played Anarchy Reigns, I played Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, whatever the fuck it's called. And those games were awesome, but this one just topped it. It really did. Everything I love about a Platinum Games game was here. It had amazing combat. It had like really cheesy sort of, you know, and hilarious storyline, and everything about it was just memorable. I just remember playing it, and it's like Hideki Kamiya was right when he was hyping this game up. It is just pure fun, and the game's not short. Don't think the game is short. It took me like 15 hours to beat. He kept saying it was short for whatever reason, you know? It's really like, it felt like a sort of spiritual successor to Bayonetta, you know? And I can only hope that Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U next year will be just as good as this, you know? Because it was, it was just brilliant. And it really is sad that it came out and obviously nobody really bought it because it was a new IP for a console that no one was really interested in buying. You know, I think Nintendo really, they tried to push it as a system seller, which I hate to say it, but that really was a wishful thinking on their part. But for those of us that did play it, we got an amazing experience. It was absolutely brilliant. If you're going to buy a Wii U, get that, okay? Get a Wii U for that, okay? It's worth it. It is. It's stellar. It's brilliant. It's everything I love about Platinum games. It's my 6th favourite game of the year. Okay, and we're in the top 5 now, right. Number 5 is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Now, this was a game that sort of took me by surprise. It was actually one of the very first games of 2013. It came out in like January, you know? And I really, really liked it. It was, what can I say? It's a perfect RPG, you know? It looks perfect, it sounds perfect, the story is sort of perfect. The very last bit was a bit weird to me, I don't know why. The gameplay was perfect. You know, again, going back to what I said about Sly 4, it's the sort of game that you just, like, dream of growing up. You know, it just looks, yeah, it's fantastic. It really is fantastic. It hits you here as well. That's actually something Tales of Xillia didn't really do for me, but this one definitely did. One thing I can definitely say is as to why it's not higher on the list. I don't really like that sort of Pokemon style, if you know what I mean. You know, the fact that, you know, when you sort of capture your party members and you fight with them, and you can basically have unlimited ones, and you've got to focus on leveling up specific ones, you know. I don't really like doing that. I prefer to just have a party members to focus on. And to be fair, Ni no Kuni does do that as well. You know, you get the party members, you level them up, and the familiars, as they're called, they just inherit the strength. I'm explaining it badly, but yeah, the Pokemon way is something I'm not a fan of, you know. But it was by no means a detriment to my enjoyment of this game, because it was just easily one of the finest RPGs of this year, you know. Perhaps not the finest, but definitely one of them. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, I really look forward to what Level 5 is going to do next, you know, in terms of like their RPG franchises. Because, you know, we got like Dark Chronicle and Dark Cloud, which were amazing. We got White Knight Chronicles, which was shite. And then we got Ni no Kuni, which is brilliant again. Hopefully the next one's no shite, but I'm really looking forward to their sort of big JRPG on the PS4, you know. It will be brilliant, you know. That's something definitely look forward to. But yeah, number 5, Ni no Kuni. Okay, now we're on to number 4 here, and I just want to say all 4 of these games are going to be 3DS games. This year was phenomenal for the 3DS, you know. And I'm actually sad that I can't really talk about all the other ones that I played, like games that we got over here that America's had for a while, like Etrian Odyssey 4. You know, I played that; it was brilliant. Fire Emblem Awakening. you know what I'm like with strategy RPGs, but that game's brilliant as well. Project Cross Zone, loved it. Mario and Luigi Dream Team, so much good stuff, you know, it was insane. And yeah, none of the ones I just listed are on here, but yeah, year of the 3DS without a doubt, okay? The best system there is right now, quite frankly, and there's going to be a lot more 3DS games to come in 2014, so the system is really kicking ass right now. And yeah, with that said, here are my top 4 games of the year. Okay, number 4 is A Link Between Worlds. Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Now, I've already talked about this game. I did a review on it, and I did like I talked about it a bit in my collection update. I've kind of figured out what it is I really feel about this game, okay? Simply put, I don't think I really love it as much as most people. It's weird, but this game totally skipped over the Zelda cycle, you know? It came out, nobody really hated it. Everybody loved it, in fact, you know? Because that's how Zelda games work, you know? Everybody hates them at first. They still sell brilliantly. And then a couple years down the line, everybody loves them. This game totally skipped that. And for good reason, because it is excellent. I was actually playing through the game again on Hero Mode there. It is kicking my arse now, and it kind of gives me that sort of, oh, I actually feel quite stuck all the time now, feeling that I never really got with my first playthrough. Again, it's an extremely streamlined game, you know. Really young children could play this game and make a lot of progress, I think. And I don't know, I guess that just sort of put me off guard at first. You know, I was kind of expecting more epic feeling, which wasn't really the case here, you know, epic difficulty, if you will. But, you know, I'm just looking back on it. I look at my experience, I'm like, you know what, just because it's not exactly what I expected doesn't mean I didn't have a... And the camera ran out of battery, holy shit. Yeah, Zelda, A Link Between Worlds was just really good. I've completely forgotten what I was talking about, but yeah, that's number 4 anyway. Of course it's going to be in my, you know, top 5 games of the year. It's fucking Zelda. Zelda's always brilliant, and I cannot wait for the new Wii U Zelda coming out next... I'm guessing 2015. Hell, I'll probably even buy Hyrule Warriors, whatever the fuck it's called. Yes, that was, wasn't expecting that, Nintendo. Okay, number 3 was... This is probably the reason why I like doing these sort of videos, you know. I get to put in just, like, big surprises, you know. Legend of Zelda, you knew was going to be on the list. I knew it was going to be on this list, because it's Zelda. This game was not. Never in my life would I think that I'd be putting this game in, like, my top 3 games of any year. Harvest Moon, A New Beginning. I've told this anecdote before, hold on. It was, where the fuck is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, what happened was, Harvest Moon came out the same day as this, Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hackers. Now, I really like Shin Megami Tensei, so I was really hyped to play this. So I'm thinking, heck, I'll stick Harvest Moon in for a couple of hours and then I'll get bored of it, you know? Because that's actually what happened with Animal Crossing, you know? I only played that game for a bit, and then I just sort of deduced, nah, this isn't really for me. That didn't happen with Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon had me hooked for 60 hours, planting turnips, getting married to some digital waifu. Just, I couldn't put it down. It was like, I don't really get like that with games. You know, usually with games, I just want to sit down, get to the end, put it back on the shelf and go into something else. But not with this one. I wanted to keep playing it. I wanted to play it forever. I could have done that. And I have since bought like every game in the series, and I've not played any yet, but I plan to at some point in 2014 probably. But that one was just a really good introduction to the series. It just made me realise, oh my god, I like stuff like this. Who'd have thought it, you know? Because I don't like I said, I don't like playing Animal Crossing. I don't like playing The Sims, you know? I guess I just, for these like slice of life games as I like to call them, I guess I just like it when there's a bit of a story backing it up, which Harvest Moon kinda has, and it also has really specific goals that you have to meet, whereas in The Sims and in Animal Crossing, you're pretty much free to do whatever the fuck you want, you know? I can't really do that, you know? I need like goals in mind to strive towards, and that's definitely what Harvest Moon does, and other franchises do that as well, like the Atelier games for PS3, which are brilliant, by the way. How many times am I going to say that? Anyway, but yeah, Harvest Moon, A New Beginning. It was a very pleasant surprise this year. It really was. Can't recommend it enough. Well, to be fair, it's probably not for everybody, but it was definitely for me, and that's why it's number 3, Harvest Moon: A New Beginning. Okay, for number 2, this is very interesting, because this could be number 1. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'm putting it this high, okay? It's been... I said this before, I think I said this in 2012. 2012 was a really good year for JRPGs, you know, they were kind of making a comeback, I felt. Well, 2013 is easily the year where they're just mainstream again and they're kicking so much ass. I've already talked about Tales of Xillia, I've already talked about Ni no Kuni, I've already talked about a bunch of other RPGs that were on the 3DS and other ones that were on PS3 as well. The genre is kicking so much ass right now, I am so happy. And the one that was the best for me this year was Bravely Default Flying Fairy. Now, you guys in America aren't getting this until next year, and I imagine seeing this on quite a few Game of the Year lists for 2014 because it's that good. But for me, this was like my second favourite game this year. It's so brilliant that this is closing off 2013, and Ni no Kuni began 2013, you know? Just absolute perfect ways of ending the year for JRPG fans. Ending and beginning the year, you know? But yeah, it's I really don't know where to begin with this. It's just one of those games that's really hitting all the right notes for me, you know? Like, I'm loving the story, I'm loving the characters, the music, the gameplay, I can't put it down, you know? That's actually what The Last Story did for me last year, you know? The Last Story was my game of the year in 2012. For pretty much the exact same reasons this one is this high on the list this year, you know? Just hits all the right buttons. Brilliant, brilliant JRPG. I really want to see more. Square Enix, for fuck's sake, you can still make good JRPGs, you know? The last good one that you made was fucking The World Ends With You. That game was awesome. Make another one of those, actually. Or, I don't know, make good games now, you know? Fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. Let that be your jumping off point for this generation. Just go all out again with JRPGs. Folk are into JRPGs again now. It's niche, but it's profitable, so go for it, you know? Just... yeah. It's funny, because I've never really been it's weird, I've been such a massive JRPG fan. But other than the PS1 era, I've never seen Square or Square Enix to be like that big in the sort of genre, or at least they haven't really made the games that I've particularly loved. You know, a lot of you are thinking that is absurd to say that, and you're probably right, but yeah, there just haven't been that many. There's been Square games that I've loved, but there hasn't been as many as like other companies, you know? So this game is... it may actually be my favourite game Square's ever done. I'll need to beat it, to be fair, to really say that with confidence. But for now, it's definitely my second favourite game of 2013. Okay, and my number 1 game of the year for 2013, a lot of you probably saw this coming. Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Yep, of course. Of fucking course. How many fucking videos have I made on Ace Attorney? Or... even this particular game, you know, it's you all saw this coming, and you know, I feel like I should give this game its own video. You know what? I don't know if I will, because there's so much I want to say about it, so many reasons why it is my favorite game of the year. And some of you are probably thinking, but wasn't this game really controversial to you? What with being digital only? And, you know, other changes to the game that they'd made that you weren't that keen on. And yeah, you're right, but it totally just turned everything around, just like Phoenix does in his Trials, you know? Everything turned around, and I ended up absolutely loving it. I really need to make a video solely on Ace Attorney 5, okay? That's how much... I've got so much to say, but there's no point, because this video would be too long. All you need to know is Ace Attorney 5 was my favourite game of the year, without a doubt. And you know what? As hopeless as it is, I'm still gonna pray that we get a physical release of the game at some point. Because I will buy it, and I will stick it on my shelf where I can play it, you know, as many times as I want, and, you know, I won't have to worry about my 3DS breaking one day and then maybe the game being lost forever. You know, as long as I always have it on my shelf. That's just the way I think. That's how much I love this game. So, yeah. That was that, guys. That was my favourite games of this year. Did I miss any out? I probably did. If so, comment below and let me know. So, yeah. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.